what are constellation? The star forming a group that has a recognizable shape. Suppose there are so many stars, and if they form a group and have recognizable shape, so this group of star is called constellation. So what do you mean by constellation? Group of stars that has recognizable shape is called constellation. So next is constellation word devised by ancient people to able to recognize stars in the sky. So these constellation is similar to the resemble objects and that are familiar to people. जो इसकी शेप होती है कॉन्स्टलेशन की, वो हमारे आसपास जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं उनकी शेप के इक्विवेलेंट होती है. You can easily identify some constellation in the night sky. So we see these type of constellation in the night sky. For this, you should know how a particular constellation look like. So what is the shape of constellation and when it grows and where to look for it in the night sky. So at what time we have to see these type of constellation. So again I am repeating, what do you mean by constellation? Group of stars that has a recognizable shape. And this shape is similar to the resemble objects familiar to the people. And when we look at this constellation in the night sky, and one of the most famous constellation you can see during summer. So these are different type of constellation. This is Great Bear constellation, and next is this is Orion constellation. Next this is Cassiopeia constellation, and next is Leo Major. This is Leo Major constellation. So there are 4 types of constellation. First is Ursa Major, then is Orion, third is Cassiopeia, fourth is Leo Major. So first is Ursa Major. So first is Ursa Major. We see these type of constellation in early part of the night, means around 9 to 10 o'clock we can see this Ursa Major. Around 9 to 10 o'clock at night we can see this Ursa Major, and we can see Ursa Major in summers. So we can see this type of Ursa Major in summertime. And what is another name of Ursa Major? Big Dipper, Great Bear, or Saptarishi. So there are 3 names of Ursa Major. First is Big Dipper, first is Big Dipper, and second is Great Bear, third is Saptarishi. So there are 3 names of constellation: Big Dipper, Great Bear, or Saptarishi. So why it is called Big Dipper? Why it is called Great Bear? So because we can see these constellation easily. So it is called Big Dipper. ये easily हमें दिखाई दे जाता है, इसलिए हम इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Big Dipper. And why it is called Great Bear? And the shape of outer side is like a bear. This is a Ursa Major constellation, and its outer covering it is like a bear. So it is called Great Bear. So this is called Great Bear. So there are this is Ursa Major. This is Ursa Major. So it is like a ladder. So it is like a ladle. And why it is called ladle? Because it is like a spoon. This is this is the circular part, and this is handle. So this is our Ursa Major, and in which three stars are at this handle and remaining on the outer side of these. So you have to remember there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 stars in the Ursa Major. So there are 7 stars in the Ursa Major, and you have to remember 4 stars are in the handle, and remaining stars formed quadrilateral. So remaining stars form quadrilateral. So you have to remember in this type of constellation there are 4 stars. So there are 4 stars. So next is there are 7 prominent stars in this constellation. So you have to remember in this constellation we have 7 stars, and it looks like a big ladle. It looks like a big ladle. And what do you mean by big ladle? It is like a spoon, and this shape is also similar to the question mark. So this is similar to the question mark. So there is a question mark. So this is question mark. The shape is similar to the question mark. So question mark is similar to the question mark. And there are 3 stars in the handle of the ladle. So in the handle there are 3 stars, and remaining 4 as its bowl. So remaining stars are on the bowl and or 3 in the handle of the ladle. So this is our Ursa Major. So next is observe these constellation for a few hours. So there is an activity 17.6. So you observe these constellations just like Ursa Major. You observe these type of constellation a few hours. Do you find any change in shape? Do you find point 6? What is that? So you observe Ursa Major for a few hours. What you find? Is there any change in shape? No. Do you find any change in its position? Yes. You find that constellation, the shape of the constellation remains. So there is an activity 17.6. What is the activity 17.6? So you observe these type of constellation for a few hours, and is there any change in the shape? No, there is no change in its shape. Is there any change in its position? Yes. So there is a change in position, and how shape remains same, and constellation move from east to west. So constellation move from east to west. So you have to remember there is no change in the shape of the constellation. And next is you find that these constellations move in the sky from east to west. I have heard that we can locate pole star with the help of Ursa Major. So you know that we can find the position of pole star with the help of Ursa Major. So what do you mean by pole star? The star which does not move. So the star that does not move is called pole star. So we can find the location of pole star with the help of Ursa Major. Next is activity 17.7. This activity should be performed on a clear moonless night. So you should perform this activity in a clear night at about 9 p.m. And this activity should be done in the summer. So you should do this activity in the summer and during 9 o'clock and in the clear night. Look towards the northern part of the sky. As we know, in the sky, northern part is there, and you have to look in the northern part of the sky and you locate Ursa Major. You may get help from the elders in your family. So you can do this activity at your home and you can take help from your parents. Look at the two stars at the end of the Ursa Major. So this is pole star. And how can you locate these pole stars? With the help of Ursa Major. So this is Ursa Major. So this is Ursa Major. And how can you locate these pole stars with the help of Ursa Major? So we find that there are two stars at the end of Ursa Major. There is a line vertically, and on this line we find pole star. हम पोल स्टार की लोकेशन कैसे लोकेट कर सकते हैं? दिस इज ये हमारा क्या है? उर्सा मेजर. ये उर्सा मेजर है और उर्सा मेजर की जो लास्ट के टू स्टार्स हैं उसमें से बिल्कुल ज्वाइन करते हुए एक लाइन लेनी है और इसी लाइन पे हमारा क्या है? पोल स्टार. So what do you mean by pole star? The star that does not move. The star that does not move is called pole star. And how can you find pole star? With the help of Ursa Major, we find that we take last two stars and we join these lines. At these lines, we find pole star. So there is activity. So look at the stars at the end of the Ursa Major. So at the end, we see two stars. Imagine a straight line and extend this activity in no direction. This line will lead to a star which is called pole star and which is not so bright. Pole star, it is not so bright. Observe pole star for some time. Note that it moves also. It doesn't move at all, but all stars move from east to west, but these pole star does not move. So these pole star does not move. So question is, how can you locate pole star with the help of Ursa Major? With the help of Ursa Major. So how can you locate? So there is a line and this is the Ursa Major. You join this line and after this, there is a pole star and this pole star does not move, but all stars move from east to west except pole star. So this is very important question. How can you locate pole star with the help of Ursa Major? And what is the shape of this Ursa Major? The shape is similar to the ladle. So this shape is similar to the ladle. And 3 stars on the handle of the ladle and remaining 4 stars at bowl of the ladle. So it is also called Great Bear. It is also called Big Dipper. So it is also called Ursa Major is also called Big Dipper. It is also called Saptrishi. It is also called Saptrishi. And next is, it is also called Great Bear. It is also called Great Bear. Next is activity 17.8. So this Ursa Major is seen at night in the summer. So these can be seen at night in the summer. During the summer night, observe Ursa Major 3 to 4 times. So as we know, in the summer night, we can see this Ursa Major. So we observe these Ursa Major in the sky about 2 to 3 hours. And then we will find pole star. Does Ursa Major appear to move from east to west? Does it appear to revolve around pole star? Compare your observation in 17.14. So this is our Ursa Major and this is pole star. And after some time it goes in this direction, then it goes. But pole star doesn't move. So these pole star doesn't move, and these are Ursa Major around the pole star. So as we know, all stars appears to move around the pole star. So these stars move around, these stars move around the pole star. Note that pole star is not visible in the southern hemisphere. So these pole star is visible in the northern hemisphere. It is not visible in the southern hemisphere. Some of the northern constellation like Ursa Major may not be visible from some points in the northern hemisphere. So these northern hemisphere is visible only in northern hemisphere because some of these northern constellation, just like these Ursa Major, this is not visible in साउदर्न हेमिस्फीयर, क्योंकि इसको अगर हम साउदर्न हेमिस्फीयर से देखेंगे तो ये हमें विजिबल नहीं होगा. So this is our first constellation. Next is Orion. So second constellation is Orion. Orion is another well-known constellation that can be seen during winter. So Orion is seen in the winter, but Ursa Major is seen in the summer, and it is also seen in the evening, but Ursa Major is seen in the night. It is one of the most significant constellation in the sky. In the Ursa Major, there are 7 stars, but in the Orion, it has 7 or 8 bright stars. And what is the other name of Orion? Hunter. So it is another name of Orion. And the 3 middle stars represent belt of the hunter. So Orion, it can be seen in the winter. So this is, I'm showing the Orion. So Orion is seen in the winters. So this is the picture of Orion. So this is Orion constellation. This is Orion constellation, and it is the, what is the another name of this constellation? Hunter. So this is Orion constellation, and Hunter is the another name of Orion constellation. And there are 7 or 8 stars, 3 on the belt. ये Hunter है, ये शेप जो पीछे दिखाई हुई है Hunter की शेप है, और इसमें बेल्ट बनी हुई है. इस बेल्ट में कितने स्टार्स हैं? 3. So on the belt of the hunter, it contains 3 stars. So on the belt of the hunter, it contains 3 stars. So, and remaining stars form quadrilateral. These star, these star, these star, and these star. They 4 stars form the quadrilateral. Quadrilateral, the shape, what is quadrilateral? The shape having 4 sides are shown in the figure. This is quadrilateral, and they form, the 4 stars form quadrilateral, and 3 stars are on the belt of the hunter. 3 स्टार जो हमारी हंटर की बेल्ट पे हैं और रिमेनिंग 4 स्टार्स क्वाड्रिलेटरल फॉर्म करते हैं. एंड दिस इज आल्सो नोन एज हंटर. सो दिस इज आल्सो नोन एज हंटर. द स्टार सीरीज which is the brightest star. So what is the brightest star in the sky series? It is very close to Orion. So this is the shape of Orion. So this brightest star is very close to the Orion. So how can you locate Sirius with the help of these constellation? To locate Sirius, imagine a straight line passing through three middle stars of the Orion. So if you want to locate Sirius, this star, imagine a line that pass through the three middle star of the Orion. So these are three stars. You have to find a line passing through these three middle star, and you look along this line towards east. And this line will give you the position of brightest stars series. So how can you locate these star? How can you locate these star? It is the brightest star in the sky. So this is the brightest star in the sky. And how can you locate these series? With the help of these constellation. So with the help of these constellation, we can find these brightest star. And how can you locate these star? Imagine a line, imagine a straight line passing through three middle stars of the Orion, and at these line we have the brightest star, and this star is Sirius. So how can you locate these star? Imagine a line passing through these brightest star. So this is our second constellation. Next is Cassiopeia. Third is Cassiopeia. So third constellation is Cassiopeia. It is another prominent constellation in the northern sky. So we can also see Cassiopeia in the northern sky. And it is visible only winters. So this is also visible in the winters. And it is visible only in the night. And what is the shape of this Cassiopeia? It is similar to the W or M. I'm showing the Cassiopeia. So this shape is similar to the distorted like W or M. So you have to remember Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, it is visible in the winter, and its shape is similar to the distorted W or M. So I'm showing the Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia is, this is similar to this is Cassiopeia. So this is our constellation, and this is like a W or M. So this is similar to the W or M. The shape of this Cassiopeia is similar to the distorted W or M. So you have to remember the shape of this Cassiopeia. So next is, a constellation does not have only 5 to 10 stars. You have to remember the constellation, it does not contain 5 or 10 stars. It has a large number of stars. However, we can see only the bright stars. Constellation में बहुत सारे stars होते हैं, but कुछ ही वो बहुत bright होते हैं. We can see these bright stars in the constellation. All the stars which make up the constellation are not at the same distance. So these constellations, these are not at the same distance. They are just in the same line of sight in the sky. So we can see in the same line, but they are not in the same line. So there are, you have to remember, these are the constellation. First is our Ursa Major. First is Ursa Major. First is Ursa Major. And then is our Orion. Second is Orion. Second is Orion. And third is the shape series. This is you have this. This is the brightest star. Third is Cassiopeia. Third constellation is Cassiopeia. So these are the different constellations in the sky. So these are the different constellations in the sky. So these are, first is our Great Bear. Second is Orion. Third is Cassiopeia. Let's start with Cassiopeia. And fourth is Leo Major. This is Leo Major. So you have to remember the different type of constellation. So next our topic is solar system. So in the solar system, the sun and the celestial bodies which revolve around it form a solar system. In the solar system, there is a sun and celestial bodies. So in the solar system, the sun and celestial body. So in the solar system, it also contains planets, comets. What do you mean by comets? It contains gases and the hard materials and asteroids and meteors. We study in asteroids and meteors at the end of this chapter. So in the solar system, there is a sun, there is a celestial bodies, there is a planet, there is a comets, asteroids and meteors. And which force acts between sun and objects, which is gravitational object attraction. So suppose this is the sun. So the which force is acting between sun and the objects? Suppose this is as comets. The force between comets and sun is gravitational force. जो सन है, सन सारी चीजों को अपनी तरफ खींच रहा है, कॉमेट्स को, एस्ट्रॉइड्स को, प्लैनेट्स को, मेटियोर्स को, और किस फोर्स से खींच रहा है वो? सन, ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स. So the earth, as you know, also revolve around the sun. As we know, in the sun, as we know, this is earth. This also revolves around the sun. You have to remember, this earth